Hello and welcome to the Now We Know Show Flashback, an exclusive episode for all our Patron and YouTube members. So, what is going to be the topic of this week? Let's find out.
How's it work?
In the studio, we've got me, Zach, you, Buzz,
Me, Buzz, and
June from our latest episode.
Yes, Indiana June is still with us.
So, I have our very high-tech randomizer right here. It is a hat.
A hat.
With all of the previous topics from
Right, so these are
a big selection of our previous episodes.
literally episodes from the previous year.
Yes.
Okay,
So, anything that happened in 2022.
Right, so are you going to allow our guest June to pull one out?
Yes, I think so. Have a little root around there.
In the hat.
Okay, choose one at random.
Here we have.
What have we got?
We have UFO and UAP identification.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Crikey, that's been a
Which
while since
episode
we did that.
was that?
Episode 13.
Wow, that is going back a bit, because we just did episode 61.
My goodness
Right.
me.
Well, actually, this is quite topical because there has been quite an upsurgence in UAP discussions.
What does UAP stand for?
Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Ah,
You see, if you let me do a quick recap. It's always sort of generally been known as a UFO,
yeah.
unidentified flying object. But in recent years, it was decided by those that decide these things that because UAPs come under things that the Air Force pilots and commercial airline pilots and people on the ground, they see all these different sightings, that they're not always flying in the same way that we perceive
flights
flight
to occur.
you see. So therefore
It's kind of a bit odd to explain, which is why
so they
get
decided
the
to
definition.
rename it as an unidentified aerial phenomenon so that it covers everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so there
So
you go.
it's a general term.
So
How do we feel about like UFOs and aliens in the studio today?
well, as I say, the thing is that about a week ago in America, they had a House subcommittee meeting about national defence.
Was this in America?
In America, yeah. And it had two former Navy pilots and an intelligence officer, which were basically discussing things about UAPs. And it came up, in fact, we are actually doing a podcast on it.
Oh,
Okay, we are doing a podcast
Okay.
on it, an update, so I don't want to go into too much detail. But what was discussed within that by a chap called David Grush basically pointed to the fact that they have found alien ships, alien tech,
okay.
even alien biology.
Because in our previous episode, we did discuss these different sightings
That's
and
it. But
like
they-
crash sites and
they have
things,
now-
but it was never really confirmed from any of the things we
They
talked
have
about.
now come out and said yes, that they have found alien tech
And
They
bodies.
and well,
Oh.
they call it
Oh.
alien biologics.
Ooh.
And
Then
also they
are owning up to they've
backdating.
got things.
They are back. What do they call it? Back engineering alien technology.
Ooh.
Now that is a thing that actually
Independence Day right
Yeah.
now.
So we're going to come back and discuss that fully.
How do we feel about
Well, let's-
aliens in general? Do we think aliens exist?
Yes.
I,
It's just-
I think
okay.
without question they do, because it's like think about the ocean. Okay,
Yeah.
if you think of the universe as like the ocean, and if you got a teaspoon
Yeah.
and dipped it in the ocean and pulled it out and said, "Oh, that's is there anything in it?" And if there's nothing in that little teaspoon of water, well, that's life.
Yep.
But the thing is, that's just a teaspoon out of the whole of the universe.
Yeah.
But the whole
Which,
of the universe could be
by
teeming
comparison
with life.
is
So
infinite.
to compare what we know as life in such an infinite universe.
You don't know what's in the seas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what about you, June? What are your thoughts on aliens?
I think they exist.
Yeah.
We just haven't made that much contact with them yet. They may be just keeping an eye on us. Who knows? But the Americans are actually owning up to the fact that they have got bits of spaceship.
That's what it seems.
And other people who have been working in laboratories, they have actually found different kinds of bodies. So
Wow.
we should all have to wait and see. But for so long, they have shut down told people they mustn't discuss it, that you've never seen it, it doesn't exist, we're not going to tell you or else you're in trouble.
Because isn't that the thing they're trying to encourage people to report it
I
now?
think
Yes.
that's why they had this subcommittee meeting,
Yeah.
because they want to bring in new regulations to say that if pilots do report these things, they are not risking their careers.
Yes.
Yeah. I can understand why somebody would kind of feel apprehensive to mention something.
And to refer back to our previous UFO and UAP podcast, we did mention it, that perhaps, just perhaps, society as it is now would be probably its most accepting if it was actually put out there.
Actually,
So
there
is-
might be more panic.
Well,
Because
yeah.
over the thousands of years, if you look at all these paintings, cave paintings, all over the world of people that look like space things, and the tribes have thought that they were gods, and they've learnt different things.
So
And this is
suggesting
Australia.
we've been visited before. Then.
We've been visited for thousands of years, but nobody wants to know. And of course, there was no communication, so people in Australia thought one thing. They got Wanjinas. They got the American Indians. They've got paintings. There's paintings in China. There's paintings all over the place of these, and they all look very, very similar. But of course, there was no internet, there was no telephones, so nobody could tell from one country to another, whatever. But they've all been thought of as gods
Wow.
coming
So
down.
actually, we're being visited.
It's going to be like Prometheus. Like
But
Prometheus
now
almost.
people, there's so much communication. There's likely to be the war of the worlds more.
I was kind of
Little
thinking
panic.
Stargate myself.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
yeah.
Good movie. Definitely recommended.
So we shall just have to wait and see. But the Americans are letting out a bit more information now.
As you say,
They've
that
been
would kind of
denying it for years.
throw up a lot of things to do with like religion and how people perceive gods and things.
Oh, God,
If well, precisely.
Yeah.
If people, it's the sudden revelation of would people then think of aliens as gods, or is it like, again, you'd probably still get a portion of the population that would say, oh, that's fake. They're faking it. Who are the big
Oh,
they?
you're always going to get that.
Yeah.
Regardless,
Well,
it doesn't matter what you do.
It's like
just like with the moon
flat
landings
Earth,
and flat Earth.
flat Earth, and different.
Oh, we had to bring that up at some point.
It's-
I do believe that topic is in that hat somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that will be revisited. So
It's-
there we go. So to sum up, do we believe? I don't believe. I would say I. It's very difficult because I don't like to use the word "I believe" that aliens exist, because that requires a certain amount of faith.
Well, you've not met one yet.
So for example,
Or have you? They're wearing human skins.
I can't say that I believe the pyramids exist. I know they exist. I could go and visit them if I really, really wanted
Yeah.
to. And I kind of think that from the evidence that is being presented recently, that if it was possible to go and actually see and observe or touch this alien technology, that it is there. And so there is definitely something pointing towards life, extraterrestrial life off
We
Earth.
can't be the only thing in the universe, and there's about 13 universes, if not more.
Are we excited about the fact that aliens could possibly be revealed to be a thing, or are we scared that they might kind of invade us like every other disaster movie?
Well, I think if I can chop in here, I think really it's down to two things. It's either aliens have they've developed technology way in advance of ours to actually travel through interstellar space, to actually go through the vast distances required to travel between solar systems,
Which is a very
between,
kind of scary
know,
prospect.
just in our own galaxy, let alone intergalactic travel is mind-boggling. But if it's an alien race that has managed to develop such technology,
Such power, yeah.
it's either going to be sending it out as probes, like we would send a probe out,
Which
So-
could
so-
be the UAPs.
so it might be that these things are actually probes, and aliens themselves haven't necessarily visited us. But if let's just take the big leap and say they are visiting us, then they're going to visit a race that has developed that type of technology is either going to be
They may
kind
be
of
just
explorers,
monitoring us.
or they are going to be there for their own
Their own
expansion.
game.
Are they
Again.
going to arrive
We got to so when
carrying
it comes
lots
to
of armoury and thinking we're going to kill you all off?
so,
Or are they here to help us?
so I think
It's
that's the thing.
open to
So
speculation.
to
It
answer
is.
your question, Zach, about should we be afraid or should we whatever, I think the only fear comes in, if you like, is if you've got a race that is out for its own profiteering.
You mean like us?
Like the humans? Yeah, we're always
We
looking.
want to take manufacturing and industry off planet, don't we?
Yeah, well, that's a good idea.
What about AI? We're worried about that.
Well, we have
Well,
done.
That's another one.
We've done our first AI. We've got to come back for the artificial super.
We did briefly mention it on our robotics
if they're
episode.
cleverer than us, what are we going to do about it?
Well, there we go.
You got ASI,
Yeah.
artificial superintelligence, which is definitely the topic
So,
of another episode.
Yeah.
Once the Tesla bots take over, then we shall see.
Well, they'll
Anyway,
have,
I
to
think
meet the aliens,
we
won't they?
live in a very interesting time.
Yes,
It's all changed.
It's all going to change, and very, very soon, I believe.
So-
Zach and I used to like cocoa tins and string.
Yes.
And now it's all touchscreen.
Now
phones.
it's all
Satellites, touchscreen, signals, stuff like that.
yeah. It's all changed from when you.
Well, I think that's going to bring this
little
short
little short.
Now We Know Show flashback
Flashback.
to a close. I hope all our patrons and YouTube members have enjoyed the episode.
Yeah.
Have we enjoyed the episode?
Thank you for
Yeah.
joining in
Talking
on
about this
discussion.
little topic,
Do we
bring
think
it up
we're
again.
all a little bit potty?
Well, maybe.
Maybe. Who
If,
cares?
if you think we're a bit potty, please comment below. We would love to
Well,
know.
thank you for chiming in there, June.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as far as you're concerned, aliens do exist.
I think they must do.
We're
We
not
can't
all-
be the only people in.
The only living matter.
Who knows what they're like?
There you go. We are
Well, we
we are
should-
not alone.
So we still don't know what's in the depths of the ocean.
We shall find out soon enough, hopefully.
Well, there you go.
Unless
And
they-
America may actually come forward and tell us what they've actually found.
Unless they're interdimensional beings, but that's
Oh,
for,
Whoa,
that's for another episode.
That's bringing back Bigfoot, okay? Well, that's
Oh
the
well,
topic
I
for
think
another.
I'd love to know if Bigfoot really exists.
Well, maybe if you come back for another podcast, we can talk about Bigfoot.
I should like to do that.
We can get
There's so many
we can get
people
our-
say they've seen them.
we get our Bigfoot specialist in.
Oh, imagine if we got a Bigfoot specialist and June.
Yeah, get
A
Glenn,
double special
I've
guest
never
special.
seen one. I've not
get
seen
Glenn
it
in.
yet, but
we can get Glenn.
I'm fascinated.
How about that? We can get Glenn and June to have a discussion between
Yeah,
themselves.
that'd be amazing. Well, we're just going to sit outside.
Yeah, we'll sit outside and listen. Right. Okay.
Does
then
she
thank
want
you.
locking up?
Thank you very much, listeners, to listening to this Now We Know Show flashback. I am Zach.
I'm Buzz.
And I am June.
We will see you in another Now We Know Show flashback in the future. Hopefully you've enjoyed this, and hopefully we're up for doing more.
Yay.
Goodness me.